Hello there, good evening. Welcome to this very special edition of the Friday Sports Show. If I could just silence this lot behind me, because tonight we are coming to you direct from Brighton Football Club. Tomorrow, of course, a most historic day for this club because they're in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup for the very first time. They play Norwich, of course. There'll be a full house of 28,000 here at the Goldstone Ground. It's an absolute sellout, or it certainly will be. And even at this moment in Brighton, they're talking about getting to the semi-finals, even getting to the Wembley final. It'd be nice to win that FA Cup because, well, they're a little bit short on trophies here at the Goldstone Ground. They have got this beauty here, the Trofeo Beria. Now, this marks the occasion when Brighton played AC Roma of Italy in a friendly and got beaten. But never mind. And there's this beauty here, which in fact they did win. This is the Jewish Chronicle Cup for another friendly. But as I say, they did win it. But it would be... Hello, it's broken. Just broken the Jewish Chronicle Cup. But Chairman Mike Bamber, the FA Cup would fit very nicely with those, wouldn't it?
It'd be tremendous, Fred. But first of all, we've got to beat Norwich tomorrow, and I see Ken smiling. And the first thing Ken said to me was...
this is Ken Brown,
yes, Ken Brown, Norwich manager. Sorry about that. And he said to me... this moustache doesn't suit me, you see, for some unknown reason, but I understand what you mean, Ken, you know.
But,
yes, Fred.
But that moustache stays there, doesn't it?
It does.
Until Brighton go out of the FA Cup,
yeah.
if indeed they go out.
Yes, it would mean everything to our supporters, Fred. That's the main thing. This club has been going for 83 years, and it's never won one thing in the whole of football, which is quite unique, I think, actually.
So this could be the year?
This could be the year, we hope.
Mike, we are very lucky tonight because we have got with us one of football's great experts, a great analyst, the goalkeeper of the old Wilsonian 6th 11 in the Southern Olympian League, minor section Division H. Welcome to Bob the Cat Bevan. Bob, anything you want to say to the chairman, Mr. Bamber?
Well, a brilliant win at Liverpool, Fred. I think what a shrewd tactician Mike is. You know, he took them up on Sunday. Liverpool had turned up on Saturday and gone home again.
Now, Bob, what about the big match?
Well, the big match tomorrow, Fred, is, of course, the old Wilsonian 6-11, who are away in a bottom-of-the-table clash with City of London Polytechnic Sports Association, 7th 11. And it is a big game. We only hope it's not a repeat of last year, though, Fred.
What happened last year, then?
Well, you see, our president, being an old boys' side, the mass master comes to watch. And he's our president, and it's handy having him on the line, because if ever we're 2-1 down, I can nip over and ask him how many we need to equalise, you see. No, last year it was pretty bad, because we were 3-1 down, and I nipped over and I said, quick, Fred, I said, how many do we need to equalise? And see, he was very much into quadratic equations, and I don't know if you remember those, but they were the sort of things where you could have two possible answers. So I said, how many do we need to equalise? And he said 2 or minus 10. And we lost 13-1.
Well, Bob will be back later with plenty more as well. There's ice skating, a sensational routine from Torville and Dean, and a look at a really fascinating and tough sport from Kent. But, of course, it's very much Brighton's night. It's got to be. We'll be talking to Jimmy Melia and company. We have some very special guests. There's Dora Bryan, probably the most famous landlady in Brighton. She's here to cheer on the lads. And a warm welcome, too, for Ken Brown, manager of rivals Norwich City. Very brave man, really, to stick his head in the lion's den here at the Goldstone Ground tonight. But Ken can hold his head high because he's the only man involved in tomorrow's match who's won the FA Cup. Well, that was with West Ham in 1964 when the Hammers beat Preston 3-2 after twice being behind. Well, we join the action. As we join it, Hammers are in fact losing 2-1, but Ken is about to make his mark on the match.
Just what the Hammers ordered. Centre-half Ken Brown is there, not quite on target. Jeff Hurst does better, and yes, sir, Alan Kelly just fails to keep the ball out. And almost in the last seconds of the game, West Ham inside right, Ronnie Boyce heads into the net. And this is just how it happened. West Ham's third goal, which won them the cup. In the winner's dressing room, you'd expect to see champagne. You have a surprise in store. The drink on the house is milk. If that's their choice, nobody can say they don't thrive on it. This must be the first time the FA Cup has been so misused. time for the clap cat.
Ken Brown, manager of Norwich, it has to be said you haven't changed or aged at all in those years.
I wouldn't say that. I think I looked a lot slimmer.
Did you, in fact, save some milk for the club's cat?
Yes, but not too much.
It was a marvellous occasion. I mean, what's your memory of that cup final?
Actually, I think the supporters and the aftermath, if you like, because we went back to the Hilton Hotel, came out of there on the Sunday morning wondering whether anybody's going to be there to greet us, and it was fabulous. It was scenes second to none, really.
You're a manager now, of course, Ken. I mean, do you still have that same magical feeling for the FA Cup, or is it different now you're no longer a player?
Well, it's slightly different. I feel now for players, wholeheartedly. I know what they're going through and what they do and what they want to achieve and everything else. And I don't get quite the same tensed up feeling. Yeah. I feel for them.
Jimmy Greaves, in one of today's papers, described you, he said you were one of the nicest men in football, but described you really as a sort of smiling hatchet man. Is that a fair comment?
I'm worried about Jimmy, actually, because the previous two games that we played against Coventry and Ipswich, he's tipped us to lose, and I see that he's tipped us to win this time, and I'm worried about him, you know. Mind you, after saying that, he's got to be right sometime.
Ken, thank you so much. We'll talk again later. But, of course, for most of Brighton's team, a Wembley Cup final would be a really unique experience. But one man has been there, and he scored a memorable goal, even though he finished up a loser. Well, I mean, of course, Jimmy Case. He's been striking some good goals for Brighton this season. But let's have a look now at his Wembley goal. It's for Liverpool, and it's against Manchester United. Here we go.
Joey Jones. Too high for Keegan, but Case is there. The shot by Case to goal! 1-1. What an answer! And from behind, a sight that Liverpool fans would love to see again, I'm sure. The turn by Jimmy Case. The rocket shot past Alex Stepney.
Well, let's have a word now with Jimmy Case. A great moment, Jimmy, but Liverpool still lost 2-1. Do you still have that taste for Wembley?
Oh, yeah, very much so, yeah, because it's always lovely to go there. You know, I've been there a few times now, but it's always nice to go back again.
Yes. And, of course, you got the winning goal against Liverpool in the last round. Some moment that must have been for you.
Yeah, you know, there was still a lot of time to go. I had to ask the referee how long it was to go, and I still... You know, you never put them down anyway, but it was nice to get the winning goal on the day, and I think I had the last laugh.
I'm sure you did. Let's have a word now with Michael Robinson. Michael, in fact, they tell me that you sleep more than most. In fact, you like 14 hours on the night before a match. Is this so?
Yes, it is, yeah. I like to have a good rest before the game, and in fact, you're keeping me up now.
But will you sleep tonight?
Yeah, it doesn't... I don't get too nervous, you know, the night before a game. Usually get a good night's sleep.
All right. Jimmy Amelia, Chief Scout Jimmy, until, what, a few short weeks ago. Now you and George Aitken are in charge of this particular club. Jimmy, it's a dream come true, isn't it?
Well, it's been tremendous so far. I mean, to go up to Liverpool and beat them is fantastic. If we get to Wembley, then I've had 2 occasions winning at Liverpool. That was my Wembley. But if the players get there, this will be magnificent for the players, the club and the supporters.
Yeah, it's marvellous for you, isn't it?
I just got to keep going, you know.
Steve Foster still sporting this splendid beard, and that doesn't come off, does it, Steve, until, if Brighton get knocked out of the FA Cup. A bit like the chairman's moustache, really.
That's right. I think I've got more to come off, though, really. All black ones as well. Yeah. I think last round, Jimmy bought me a razor before the game.
You're not going to use it?
No, I've still got that razor.
You've still got it?
And I hope I have it for Wembley as well.
And a quick final word from George Aitken, the quiet man of the partnership, George, but obviously, like Jimmy, super for you as well.
Oh, it's magnificent. Good for the club. I think it's very good for the club indeed.
Smashing. Well done to you all. Well, of course, it's all down to the players tomorrow, but there is one man hard at work at this very moment, and David Bevan is with him.
Well, although it's only Friday tea time, as you can see here in the Brighton dressing room, things are well underway for the big match. The kit is all being neatly laid out, as indeed it is every Friday. The man in charge of the shirts, shorts, socks and boots and so on, Glenn Wilson, the former Brighton captain. Glenn, how much of a ritual does this become for the players? How important is it to get it right?
Oh, you've got to be spot on a Friday, more so at home. Because I like my dressing room immaculate, and everything has got to be spot on, from down to shirts, down to shorts, down to jocks, down to briefs, stockings, different shorts. You've got to be spot on.
You also, of course, do the studs, don't you, for the players' boots?
Yes, the lads, as good as gold, they always leave their studs to me. If there's anything goes wrong, it's down to me.
And do they believe entirely in your judgment? I hear Jerry Ryan always changes his.
I've always had lads to believe in me for years, but Jerry's a sort of an Irish lad, and he likes his little mannerisms on a Saturday. So anything that I would do for Jerry is just thrown out the window, because it's simple. If it's a nice dry day tomorrow, it's a bit firm, Jerry will have long studs. But if there's plenty of mud out there, most probably Jerry will have rubbers. But we'll always come to an agreement at half-time.
We're standing right by Steve Foster's kit, and I wonder where the famous headband is.
Ah, the headband. Well, although I put it out on normally on a Friday, just to make sure that I've got it, I take it away, because he likes to go into the physio's room on his own, and he just likes to mess around and put that on privately.
Glenn, let me ask you finally, you as a player played many times against Norwich. Can the lads do it?
There's no doubt about it, David. Come and watch.
But if you are going to come, then do come early tomorrow. Bob Bevan, I bet you don't get your shirts beautifully turned out like that, do you, before matches for the old Wilsonians?
Well, no, speak for yourself, Fred. You obviously don't either from the start. Actually, I'm more worried about the pitch. I've been on the pitch, and I think it'll be a great leveller tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah, it's only a pity the groundsman isn't. I wouldn't say it's wet, Fred, but it's the only boardroom I've ever seen on stilt.
You're going to do well here, I'll tell you. Bob, I'll see you again in a moment. Well, of course, there is, of course, one other big game in the south tomorrow, which we mustn't forget, right from the top of Division 3. Portsmouth, the leaders, against second-place Cardiff City, and Pompey do have a score to settle.
Stopped by Thomas. And Bowden a bit lucky. Ingram in the middle calling. Curious one from Alan Biley. Shot from Lewis. Header from Sullivan. Now it's Rogers. Taken away from him by Dave Bennett. Bennett attacking Sullivan and crossing well. And that's a well-taken goal by Hemmerman.
Yes, Jeff Hemmerman scoring the winner there, and in fact he has scored 24 goals for Cardiff since getting a free transfer from Pompey last summer. Pompey expecting their biggest gate of the season for tomorrow's game to see Hemmerman's return. We'll now look at the position at the top of Division 3. Portsmouth with 66 points, 3 more than Cardiff from the same number of games. Lincoln are third, fourth-placed Huddersfield are at home to Gillingham tomorrow, while Bristol Rovers play at Reading. Bournemouth are home to Preston, and in the 4th division, Aldershot visit Bristol City. Did you ever have ambitions as a pro?
No, I wouldn't have minded being a footballer, though.
And what was your great moment?
Well, I'd rather not say, for it's nothing to do with football.
No, I didn't think it would be, actually, to be quite honest. Well, lots more still to come, including from him. We shall meet Dora Bryan and take a few predictions on the outcome here at Brighton tomorrow. We've Torville and Dean and a really tough sport from Kent. All that in just a couple of minutes from now.
Knorr Quick Soup now comes in 10 delicious varieties. There's peanut, French, chip. Well, there's 10 of them anyway.
This Avis car has just been rented by a man with an Avis Express card. He handed over the card, we ran it through a computer. The computer filled in the form. All he had to do was sign it. As a result, he'll get his car faster than he thought. The Express card is unique to Avis. It's proof that we still mean what we've always said.
Quality string on Mother's Day, sent is what we want to say. We love you, Mum! All of us share.
Banking can be as easy as shopping. At your local NatWest.
Good morning, sir.
Morning. Now then, I've a contract to build a factory in the Far East.
You'll be needing performance bonds and long-term currency loans.
Thank you.
Madam.
I'd like a fairly large jet.
A jumbo, perhaps?
Hanging on.
Ah, saver service.
I would like a jumbo jet.
Pop upstairs with this, son.
Will do, Mr. Beck.
Will you send it round?
Certainly.
Behind every one of our branches is Britain's biggest banking network, NatWest, the Action Bank.
What I want is a proper cup of coffee. A proper cup of coffee is what I say. When the kettle blows and that aroma hits your nose, a proper cup of coffee's on the way.
When Melita invented filter coffee, they invented the easiest way to make real, fresh ground coffee without the fuss or the bother.
Melita has the means to turn the finest coffee beans into a proper cup of coffee right away.
Melita, real ground coffee without the grind.
Well, it comes on slow and then begins to grow. It's got me in the mood. It's so rich and smooth. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. Fight it. Taste the way that it's gonna be. The dairy milk chocolate from Cadbury. Don't fight it. Fight it. Cadbury's whole nut. Don't fight it. Fight it.
And welcome back to the Friday Sports Show, coming to you tonight direct from the Brighton football ground. We're in the boardroom. It is unusual, of course, for ladies to be allowed into boardrooms, but 3 have stormed the bastion, if you'll forgive the expression tonight.
You asked me over the phone.
You're throwing me completely out of sequence here. First of all, Jean Bamber, wife of the chairman. Jean, do you normally get in here or not?
No.
No?
No, if I do get in, I knock at the door and creep in. Get in and get out as
Even though
fast
you're
as
the
I
chairman's
can.
wife?
Yes.
What's he been like in the last few weeks? I mean, it's been a nervous, tense sort of time. Has he been sort of kicking the cat and...
Well, let's put it this way. I've been married to him for 31 years.
Yeah?
And I've learned to take it.
You look a lot better than him, I must say.
It shows he's treating me well.
It does show he's treating you well. Valerie Lloyd, who is Jimmy Amelia's young lady. Valerie, they tell me that you get terribly excited during matches.
Yes, I've got a tendency to jump up and down in the director's box, which isn't quite the right thing to do, but it's also difficult for the people behind me.
To see the match?
Yeah.
And you hope you'll be doing that again tomorrow?
Well, it'll be very hard to hold my feelings in tomorrow.
Yeah, lovely. Well, as you've probably heard, we have Dora Bryan here. Welcome, actress, comedian, owner of a hotel here in Brighton.
Yeah.
I mean, are you hoping... Are you hoping the lads are going to get to Wembley?
Are they going to Wembley?
Yes, I mean, are you hoping they are?
Of course.
Yes.
Oh, yes, I am. I hope they win tomorrow.
Yes.
And
because, I mean, you've got links with football, haven't you?
Well, yes. Bill, you see...
That's your husband?
Who else?
Yes, quite. But I'm just telling the viewers.
It's just my Bill and all that
Yeah.
I sing in cabaret and all that.
Yeah.
But he was a professional footballer when I first went out with him, but he didn't look very good in shorts. But I still got, you know, and then he was a professional cricketer and played in all those leagues up there. And, oh, well, you know, I'm married to a sportsman, but he doesn't come to see me work, so why should I go and see him work?
Right. Listen,
you know, because he was, what, he got £12 a week, but with...
Listen, Dora, do you like skating?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I'm pleased to hear you say
Yes.
that. How about Jane Torville and Christopher Dean in the
Who are
World
they?
Ice Dance Championships in Helsinki? Now, they're holding a very comfortable lead at the moment, but the climax comes tomorrow with the free dance, their routine adapted from the Michael Crawford musical Barnum. And I'll tell you... Have you? You haven't? Well, I'll tell you what, you can now have a little preview of their routine. And you can see how well Torville and Dean do in World of Sport tomorrow. Are you a skating fan?
Not really, but I did hear about the Irish skater, Fred, who wouldn't go out until the gritting lorry came on.
I'll tell you what, let's get it back to football now, and to Jimmy Amelia sitting next to you. Jimmy, you became a hero around these parts. Look at me. when Brighton beat Liverpool in the last round of the Cup. But you didn't please everyone in the South, as Gareth Evans now tells us.
When Brighton knocked Liverpool out of the FA Cup, a deathly hush fell over this particular corner of Kent. There was no singing in the bar at the Two Bells that night, because tucked away in Folkestone is a little piece of Liverpool. Landlord Ron Mercer is a true Scouser, and mementos of Merseyside are everywhere to be seen. John Conte, Bill Shankly, Bob Paisley, and a past Liverpool lineup which includes a fresh-faced Jimmy Case. Customers in the Two Bells often see red, because Ron's wife Dolly proudly wears Liverpool's colours whenever the club has a match.
It's the pool. It's Liverpool.
Oh, it says United.
Yeah, it's not United.
Soccer fanatics they may be, but here in the so-called soft South, they've discovered another sport which they rate even tougher than football.
This is a human sport, isn't it? So these boys do really put into it. And the training, it beats most of them. Too hard for them. You know, they've had boys come, but they can't stick it.
Can't stand it.
No.
These lads pulling over, just rain, snow or wind doesn't stop play with these. They just carry on. You know, we had one over here a fortnight ago.
The club's bulging trophy cabinet shares pride of place with the Liverpool memorabilia. An honour indeed. But as for the tug-of-war team being clean-living, dedicated sportsmen, well, I became just a little bit sceptical about that and wondered if they were good paying customers at the bar.
Oh, they don't well here, what we call well here. They come at, they have a good training session, they sit down and enjoy the drink and discuss what's going to happen with the next poll and where it's going to be and what ways.
You haven't tried to convert them into Liverpool supporters, eh?
I wouldn't dream of it. No.
Well, Liverpool's conquerors in the Cup, Brighton, are playing Norwich in the quarter-finals tomorrow. Any message for those old scousers, Jimmy Case and Jimmy Melia?
Well, just go out there and do your bit. If you knock the champs out, well, see if you can knock this team out. It's all right.
Keep taking the tablets.
All the best to them.
All the best, Jimmy Melia. Keep taking the tablets. What do you say?
I think that's tremendous to hear the people from Liverpool talking the way they are. Even though we beat them, I'm sure that after Liverpool's result tomorrow, they'll be looking at our result and opening their deepest of hearts that we win.
Lovely. Ken Brown, a last word from you. How do you see tomorrow?
Not too much, actually, Fred, but I'd like to present that to Steve. And when he's done with it, he can give it to the chairman. Actually, he needs it well.
Thank you very much, Ken. And Bob Bevan, a last word from you.
Well, I work for Townsend Torsson, and our chairman is the deputy chairman down here, and he said to me this morning...
And his name is?
Keith Wickenden.
Yes.
And he said to me this morning, if you like working here, he said, you better say that if you had to put your money on a seagull against a canary, who would you choose?
A bit strong, isn't it?
Can I say thank you to everyone here at Brighton tonight. They've made it a lot of fun for us. Thank you so much. Good luck to both teams tomorrow. Don't forget the Saturday match tomorrow night at 10:15. Highlights of 2 cup games. I wonder where we shall be going. And we leave you tonight with a little number recorded earlier. It's the Brighton players taking an early bath. One last question, everybody. Who's going to win the FA Cup this season?
That's ridiculous. I like your comment about the early bath.
Good night. See you soon.
Starting soon on Channel 4, the news with Peter Sissons. Starting in a few moments on